Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Everyone. Happy Friday. Today, we are going to be working on a story problem, and our story problem is about Mother's Day because Mother's Day is right around the corner this Sunday. So we are going to be talking about moms. And while we're reading the story, remember we do a 3 reads protocol. The first time we read, we really think about who is in the story and what they're doing. The second time we read, we pick our number set, and then we ask ourselves, what do these numbers represent in this story? Then the last time we read, we put all of that information together, consolidated in our brains, and we ask ourselves, what are we being asked to solve? And then we also need to figure out if the problem is a subtraction problem or an addition problem, because we don't know. We need to use our context clues to figure that one out. All right, so I'm going to read for our first read, and while I'm doing this, you can make a movie in your head to visualize the story. This Sunday is Mother's Day, and Miss Yakimowicz wanted to make some yummy chocolate-covered strawberries for her mom. She made chocolate-covered strawberries. As she was putting them in the refrigerator to cool, fell on the floor. Oh no. How many chocolate-covered strawberries does Miss Yakimowicz still have for her Mother's Day celebration? So what is happening in this story? Remember, friends, you can pause the video to give yourself more think time. You can play it back too if you weren't paying attention or you lost some key information. So teachers, when you're ready, give me a thumbs up to share what's happening in this story problem today. Ms. Hernandez.
So it sounds like you were making some chocolate-covered strawberries for Mother's Day, which is very sweet of you. But as you were putting them in the fridge to cool, some of them fell on the floor. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
So now we have to figure out how many strawberries you still have left for Mother's Day.
Thank you. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to do our second read. And Ms. Rosales, can you pick our number set for today?
Sure. Can we try 54 and 36? Second set.
Yes, and then I'm gonna zoom in here. Remember, you can use that zoom in feature to help you put in those numbers carefully. So 54 first. Ooh, and it looks like it's part of the story. And 36. All right, Ms. Rosales, can you read this story for us? And I realized that I made a mistake, and this shouldn't say for my mom, it should say for her mom. Sorry about that. So go ahead, Ms. Rosales, whenever you're ready.
This Sunday is Mother's Day, and Miss Yakimowicz wanted to make some yummy chocolate-covered strawberries for her mom. She made 54 chocolate-covered strawberries. As she was putting them in the refrigerator to cool, 36 fell on the floor. How many chocolate-covered strawberries does Miss Yakimowicz still have for her Mother's Day celebration?
So we need to look back at this problem and this story and think to ourselves, what does 54 represent in our story? So you can pause the video to give yourself more think time. Teachers, when you have an idea, just give yourself thumbs up. And if you are at home, you can tell your brother or sister, or maybe your mom and dad, if they're there, tell them what 54 represents in this story. All right, Miss T, what does the 54 represent in the story?
54 represents the number of chocolate-covered strawberries you made.
Perfect. It's right there. 54 chocolate-covered strawberries. All right. And Miss Hernandez, what does the 36 represent?
36 are the number of strawberries that fell on the floor.
We didn't put that there, but 36 strawberries fell on the floor. So now when we go into our third read, we need to think about, is this an addition sentence or an addition problem or a subtraction problem? All right, here is our last read. This Sunday is Mother's Day, and Miss Yakimowicz wanted to make some yummy chocolate-covered strawberries for her mom. She made 54 chocolate-covered strawberries. As she was putting them in the refrigerator to cool, 36 fell on the floor. How many chocolate-covered strawberries does Miss Yakimowicz still have for her Mother's Day celebration? Okay, so 2 questions. What are we being asked to do? And is this an addition or subtraction problem? So I think the first thing we should probably ask is, what are we being asked to solve? So Miss Hernandez, what are we being asked to figure out in this problem?
So we want to know how many strawberries Miss Yakimowicz still has for Mother's Day.
Yes. Okay. So then, Miss Hernandez, does this mean that this is an addition problem or a subtraction problem?
No, it's going to be a subtraction problem because you started off with 54 chocolate covered strawberries, but then 36 fell to the floor, so we can't count those anymore. So we have to take 36 out of the total, and then we'll see how many more strawberries you have left for Mother's Day.
Perfect. And I'm thinking this helps me visualize it, because we wouldn't take those 36 from the floor and put them back in the tray with all the other strawberries. Those are dirty. We're not going to eat them, right? And we can't even let our puppies eat them because they're chocolate. So those need to be discarded. We don't want to eat something from the floor. So they're not there anymore. We need to figure out how many we have left. So right now, teachers, I'm going to give you some time to work on your strategies to figure out what the answer is to the problem. How many chocolate covered strawberries does Miss Yakimowicz still have? And friends at home, you can pause the video to give yourself that working time. It's really important that you are doing this assignment right with us, because in the classroom, you are usually doing this assignment on your own too while we're working and thinking about the problem together. I see Miss Rosales is ready. Thank you, Miss Rosales. Waiting for 2 more teachers. Thank you, Miss Hernandez, and 1 more teacher. All right, so we'll start with Miss Rosales. Why don't you start and tell us what is the strategy that you are using today?
So I'm using the number line strategy. And as you can see with my number line here, I started with the equation 54 minus 36, because already Ms. Hernandez shared with us that we are subtracting. Our number is going to get smaller. I decomposed my 36 to tens and ones, 30 and 6. And then I drew a number line to help me out. So then with my number line, I have to think, am I getting bigger or am I getting smaller? So because I'm getting smaller, I need to go ahead and start with 54 on the far right-hand side and then bunny hop to 30. So I did 10, 20, 30, 30 down. But I'm subtracting, so I have to think about it. 54 minus 10, 44, minus another 10, 34. Minus a third set of tens is 24. Then I think, friendly numbers. Well, I mean, my second number is a 6, so I had to do small hops. I did 6 small hops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I know that when I bunny hop from 24, counting backwards, I do 1, so 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. There's my friendly number 20. And then 2 more, 19 and 18. So 18 is my answer.
Thank you. So I'm going to revoice what Ms. Rosales was explaining. So she decomposed 36 into tens and ones, 30 plus 6. And then she realized that 30 is made up of 3 tens. So she started her number line on 54. And remember, when we're subtracting, our number is going to get smaller. So we need to put our minuend, our first number, our whole number, in the right side of our number line. So now we can jump those 30 hops by tens. So if I do 10, 20, 30. And so minus 54 minus 10 is going to give me 44. We're counting back. Then minus another 10. 44 minus another 10 is going to give us 34. And then 34 minus 10 is going to give us 24. And so we did our 30, 10, 20, 30. So we can cross that part off to remind us and make sure we don't do that one again. But we still have our 6. And I noticed Ms. Rosales, she decomposed into 4 and 2 because she knows 4 plus 2 makes 6. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And she showed that she subtracted by ones by putting minus 1 under each hop, right? We're going back, so we are subtracting. All right, and then we're going to count back. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. And so we left off at 18. And we circle that answer, and we put it in our number sentence. 54 minus 36 is going to give us 18. Thank you, Ms. Rosales, for showing us that strategy. All right, Ms. T, can you share your strategy with everyone?
Of course. So I did 54 minus 36 again, and I did it horizontally, and I did the tens and ones strategy. So I represented 54 on my tens and ones chart first by drawing 5 tens and 4 ones right here. And then I looked at 36, and I know I'm going to take away my ones first. And I noticed that 6 is too many. I don't have enough to take away. So I had to go borrow from the tens place. So I decomposed that 10 into 10 ones down here. And then I crossed out 6, so 5, 6. And I was left over with 8 ones here. And I just remembered I'm not just subtracting 6, I'm subtracting 36. So I also have to take away 3 tens. So 1, 2, 3 tens are gone, which means I'm left over with 8 ones and 1 10. Because when we're subtracting, we have to make sure we show how we're taking it away and not just representing both of these numbers.
Thank you, Ms. T. I'm going to revoice that along with our standard algorithm. So side by side, when we do a tens and ones strategies, we start with our whole number, our minuend, and we represent that in our tens and our ones. And so Ms. T was able to show us 5 tens makes 50 plus 4 ones makes 54. And I'm going to stack those up, 54, remember vertically to show my tens and ones lined up, and we're subtracting, so we need to remember that symbol. Okay, I have 4 minus 6, but I know I cannot take away 6 from 4. There's not enough, so I need to borrow from my tens place. And in the standard algorithm, we cross out our tens and we subtract 1 10. So I have 5 tens, take away 1, it's going to give me 4. But we have to remember that that 10 goes to the one side. So I have 10 plus 4 makes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I cross this out and show 14 on this side. And I'm going to show you using what Ms. T did in the tens and ones strategy. So she realized, oh, I only have 4. I can't take away 6 ones. I need to borrow from my tens place. I borrow this 10 and I decompose it into ones, and that gives me 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that little one is not, we're not counting it. All right, cross that one out because it's not in the tens place anymore. Now I can take away 6. And if I go to my 14, take away 6, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, so that's 8. And now I want to show with my tens and ones crossing out, right? If you do this, you need to show crossing out, taking away. So I have 6, I know 5, 6, okay? And so I'm left over with, make sure that you're careful, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 here, ooh, just like in my ones place on my standard algorithm. Now I need to remember the tens place. I have 4, take away 3, 1, 2, 3, and left with 1. So then I need to go here and put my 1, and I need to do the same thing with my tens place in the tens and ones strategy. So I have to cross out 3 from 36, 1, 2, 3, and I'm left with 1. So my answer is 18 in the tens and ones strategy, just like Ms. T said, and in the standard algorithm strategy. So far we have 3 strategies that show that 54 minus 36 is 18. All right, last but not least, Ms. Hernandez, can you show your strategy with us?
Yes, so actually I was decomposing numbers just like Ms. Rosales did. I did it a little bit differently because for me, decomposing numbers helps me with my counting. So I went ahead and did it vertically. I know I have 54 to begin with, and I have to take away those 36 strawberries that fell down. So I decomposed the 36 into 30 and 6. So I have to take away 30 first from the 54, and I'm counting back by 10. So 54 minus 10 is 44, minus the other 10 is 34, minus another 10 is 24. So I took out that 30. But I have to remember from the 24, I still have to take away those 6 ones. So now I moved it over to this side, 24 minus 6. And I also decomposed that 6 to a 4 and a 2. Because I know in my head, 24 minus 4 will give me 20. Take away 2 more, so that's 20, 19, 18. So my total is also going to be 18 left.
Yay! All right, so now I'm gonna have, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit closer here. Oh, that's too much. Okay, I was trying to get this sentence here. I know it's really hard. So, oop, not 17, 18. All right, so Miss Yakimowicz has 18 chocolate covered strawberries for Mother's Day. So make sure when you are doing your story problem that you are giving us 2 or more different strategies that show how you got your answer, because it's very important that we show what we did to get our answer, right? It doesn't just come to us naturally. We use strategies to help us get there. And you are going to have 2 of these pages to do 2 different number sets, right? And if you want a 4, you are going to do those 2 pages doing 2 different strategies. You're not going to use the same number set, so we shouldn't see anyone using 54 and 36. That's the one that we did together so that we can help support you. Now is your chance to either challenge yourself with one of the bigger number sets or do a different number set that you see here. You have 3 to choose from, and we cannot wait to see your amazing math work. Have a great Friday and a great weekend, and we will see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Mother's Day. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.